Hi, everybody. Welcome to MVB Life Empowerment. It's your girl Mo, and this is
George,
George. Who are you?
I'm the husband.
He calls himself the owner. Lord
Hmm.
have mercy. Hi, guys. I hope you're all doing a fantastic job of living and staying alive. Because we know life can be tough, yeah? But it can also be a blessing.
That's true.
So, we're gonna just jump into our topic today. I'll be asking the questions, and Mr. Boateng here will be answering us. And yeah, I'm just gonna be like ripping your head to see how your brain works. Anyway, it's your opinion. So, guys, allow him the grace to speak what the Lord tells him, hopefully. So, the question for today is what kills intimacy in relationships?
Um, like the first thing I would say is understanding what intimacy is, and then break it down further. So, intimacy is more of a connection,
Mm-hmm.
whether sexually or whichever way you put it. It's just having like a strong bond, strong connection between two people,
Okay.
like and things that break, like the connection, things that bring the bond, like that kills the fun, the enjoyment, the satisfaction that people get in terms of intimacy. Just one is how do I put it? I say
Before
unresolved.
you
Uh-huh.
continue, you said sexual intimacy, but it could also be emotional, correct?
Yeah,
All
yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah. Like, so I
To our
think,
people who are listening,
yeah. So
it's just closeness, like
that's why I
bonding, right?
said it's like the bonding is the
Okay.
connection. So it can be. I know normally when we say intimacy, it goes
People are
more.
thinking in bed.
Yeah, it normally goes in that direction. But yeah,
Nakedness
but emotions
of
do
skin and
have.
body
Yeah.
and emotions.
Yes. So like, yeah, thanks for bringing that up. So um what I was trying to say is, like, yes, sexually, which that is what comes to mind the first. Emotions also play
Hey, my
part,
minister husband.
and
I'm messing with you.
um so emotions do play a part, they are all part.
Right.
It's just the connection, the bonds that you build with, like, your partner, with the next person.
With the next person. Okay.
Yeah. So things that kills, things
That
that
kills.
breaks it, things that takes away that connection, that bond. I say mostly when you have unresolved issues, like, things happen, you just hash it, and didn't really go deeper into it,
Right.
because the issue is not really solved. It takes away that bond, it takes away that connection. Gradually you'll be fading
It
up,
kills
and
the mojo.
exactly. So
I'm like, don't touch me. Stay away until we
yeah,
finish.
or even if you allow the person to even come touch you, be in your space, deep down
But you
within
just be
you.
annoyed. Like,
Exactly.
why would you even want to connect? Like, I'm like, my guy, this no go zone here.
Yeah.
We not do until we finish clearing the space. I'm just kidding, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, I
It's
get
a
I get
reality, though.
yeah, I get a
You know when
point.
you're upset and you're mad with a person, you don't want to be jumping no sheets.
But I guess from background and from culture, they always say even if you're upset, you cannot deny your partner. So,
But then that's torture.
as in,
Well, I mean, I understand, like, from culture and, like, the other person's body becomes your own body, but let's be realistic. When this person is just irking you somehow, sometimes you don't even want to be in the same space.
I understand that point, but that is what push the other person to find themselves outside, and that is not what you want.
But I feel like that shouldn't be a reason, though, to say, oh, because we haven't settled issues and you're upset with me, then I should go outside and do what I need to do. I think that's just a poor excuse because that person already wanted to go out.
I
Because the
I
same person you left home can also
that
want to go out. You know what I mean?
and I get what you are saying, but
Yeah.
one, have you had body no be firewood, right?
What is that?
Body no be firewood.
What does that mean?
It's like the body has affections and emotions and stuff. So when you deny someone all of these intimacy and stuff, you are pushing them to go and find it outside.
Well, but then that person needs to be correct though, because I don't feel like you should be harming your partner in the name of, or because you know that your partner is going to follow these cultures and rules and, you know, give you their body, but they are boiling inside. Like, dude, like, what is this?
So the best is to just find ways to
Resolve it.
whatever, like, you know, the issue, whatever is causing you
The distance,
like, you know, not to be comfortable, so that all of that will die down, and there wouldn't be that need for someone to feel to go outside or just do what is not expected of the person. So first, if there is like any misunderstanding, any issues, the best thing is to just deal with that, and I think it will go a long way to build back that love, that trust, that
connection.
intimacy, that connection, basically. Yeah. I know that is actually.
Don't go outside and look for a side piece because you're mad. Resolve your issues.
It's as much as I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
you know, people have their reasoning to why they do that. So yes, the best is to sit down and resolve it, but
Right.
there are instances that, you know, people can hold on to these angers and and grief and issues for long.
Well, but then that's the thing. I don't think you're supposed to go that long with that negative kind of,
That is what
you
you
know,
think, but
atmosphere.
on the actual scene, these are some of the things that happen. So I
Right.
understand you don't think people should do that,
I mean,
but
people shouldn't. I know, like, emotions do play a part of the circumstances, right? Because basically, like, what we're saying is, like, the longer you let those ill emotions fester, that's the likelihood of you disconnecting further and further.
yes,
And then that kills your relationship if you don't take care.
yeah. I know there's like it's not just that. It's like
other
a lot
things.
of like issues that come, but I think to me mostly that is where most of these things start from.
Okay.
Like the issue is not really dealt with, and other things build on it.
So what do you think leads to those unresolved conflicts? There has to be another problem prior to that, right?
So it can be anything,
Would you say, like, maybe poor communication, maybe?
likely, because marriage, relationship, everything, it runs on communication, right? So not being able to really talk your feelings out, not being able to express yourself, it's going to definitely have a role to play in not resolving the issues
conflicts,
that comes
yeah.
up.
Okay.
So yes, miscommunication have it plays a, big role in relationship, in marriage, and all of that.
Okay.
So not being able to talk, not being able to express yourself, thinking if I say this, that the partner is going to have
React
a
a
different
certain
way,
way, yeah.
and because of that you choose not to say it, or even if you say it, you say it in a way that
You're hoping
that-
it doesn't cause fire on the mountain.
yes. So
Okay.
all of these things, but yet definitely communication have, like, you know, a big role to play. Yeah.
Awesome. So I was reading a lot about it, and it was talking about sometimes criticism and neglect can cause relationships to fall apart. What's your take on that?
Definitely. You don't want to hear every word that comes is why did you do this? You're supposed to do it this
It
way.
kills your ego.
Yes.
Okay.
Because even the devil himself has
You want to be praised.
yes. So no matter how bad the situation or the person is, at least you should find
Offend them small.
some good values, some good words, something that at
But what
least
if the person has nothing? Or
it can never be.
you just have to pray to
Have
God
you
for
met
grace.
all your life? Have you ever find someone that everything about a person is bad?
Rotten eggs. You've never met them before. I have.
You can be. At least they will be beautiful or something.
Wow.
You can't get everything
Yeah,
off.
but beauty with rottenness.
That is what I'm saying.
At some point, you're like, I don't tire.
So, and yeah, they might have like
Yeah.
maybe a bad character,
Yeah.
right, to a certain degree, but they will be good communicators.
Hopefully.
That's what I'm saying. You it can be.
Because some people are narcissists, you know.
Okay.
They know they have
Let me
terrible
because
character.
this is what the Bible also said, that God created man in his own image, right? And we believe that everything that God created,
Has
they are
good
good.
and bad.
Right. So no matter that is what I would say. No,
Okay.
I haven't really met someone that I would say this person is there's
Cross.
nothing good. I can't even find anything good out of the person.
You are a cherubim. You're an angel.
It's not. I don't think
I've seen them.
No matter like how bad, how worse the person
They have a
is,
little good in them.
there's something good in
There's
the person.
something good,
Yeah.
yeah.
So they
I
will
mean, you
have,
hope you can reach them. You can reach that part, but if you can't, that can really kill the relationship.
no. I'm just going based on what you said. Like
Yeah.
when there's always like criticism, there's always nagging. There's always you can't live in an environment where
Everything is negative.
everything is negative. So you don't feel. I feel like you wouldn't feel appreciated in the
You'll be
environment.
exhausted.
Exactly.
At
And
some point.
you wouldn't love being home. You
Yeah.
wouldn't love being around a person.
That's
And
true.
these are some of the things that will kill that joy, that connection that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at least a fair ground where we keep like maybe 1%, 2% of like
Grace.
yeah, at least, because you can it can be that the person is all bad and nothing good.
Right. But I feel like sometimes, when things are not flowing smoothly, right? And a person is hurt, like they've been hurt consistently by this partner of theirs, right? It's so difficult for them to dig deeper because you might not understand from the other side, right? But the person who's in it, their wounds are like beyond what you and I can even imagine. From the outside, you can just tell a person, deal with it. Like, oh, you can get over this. But they are the ones who are locked behind doors with that person that is cutting them up and tearing them down. So I think there should be some kind of balance because, and again, it takes two to tango. You can, you could dance alone, but if you're in a relationship, you have to dance with somebody. It's a two-way street. So if you're doing things by yourself,
What is wrong with dancing by yourself?
well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like I said, you could dance by yourself, but if you're like you go to a ballroom and you're doing ballroom dancing, you need a partner to tango, that kind of thing.
What is wrong
But
with dancing by
why?
yourself?
Then stay single. Why are you married?
Okay, let me pause over here. Right. So
I know you kind of went somewhere. Well,
I want to say this, right? The fact that you are married,
right.
it does not mean you cannot have your single life.
Right, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm
Because-
saying is if you have issues, right? The issue is between you and this person. So you can't just ignore it and say because I want to live in freedom. It doesn't work like that. The Bible says the two shall become one. If the Bible has said the two shall become two, that's different. The two shall become one, which means the issues at hand must be dealt with and must be fixed. It shouldn't be like, oh, nobody's saying choke anybody down, that kind of thing. But there are things that require partnership. And if the other person is not partnering and doing their part, but they want to freelance, I beg, in the name of God, you're not supposed to separate. But I'm just saying, why are you traumatizing somebody else's child?
So I'm going to complete the point that I was saying and then come back to what you're saying. I have read where, and I've heard from communication, where most people think the fact that you are married
Or
like
you're with somebody.
it's supposed to be the two of us everywhere, every place, every time, doing everything together.
You can't even stand your own self. How can you like be with somebody
But
like
what I'm
365
trying to say is
24
like
days?
I recently read another somebody's story too, where
Right.
the person feels the same way. It's more like they got married and they go to work, come home, and the husband is watching maybe soccer, and she feels like we got married. Why are you watching soccer? We're supposed to do things together, right? So because the husband is doing something that he likes, she feels like, no, we're supposed to do everything together because we are married.
Well, I think like in most instances, people kind of read it out of context, so as to say,
Let's stop it.
because hey, our IT team now it's in to do. What's happening? Is it working? It's going.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, my people. We haven't gone anywhere. We're still here. I was getting a signal.
Okay.
IT was getting a blank shoots out there, but we are back.
All right. So back to what I was saying, like
Yeah.
in maybe in it we didn't go through it, but I've heard it. Like I said, I was reading someone's story,
Right.
and that is what the lady is facing, because they are married and she feels like, so for, and that is what, and I would say most society growing up, that is what most people know, because
Yeah.
it's like when you get married, everything is supposed to be you two, everything is supposed to be you two. So when you don't have that understanding, I know for us, even on our wedding day, Bishop was talking about we are two but one,
Right.
where I have to, like, because that time I was also doing like a side business that on the weekend I'm going to do my side business. You'll be going to minister at a different church.
Right.
That doesn't mean, oh, because we are married you have to stop going to minister at churches because we are married. So, and then I have to stop my side business that I was doing because we are married. But just as we are single and making things move, we have to keep that, and also have at the back of our mind that make time for ourselves to be together.
Right, that's
So,
what I wanted
but-
to say. So for this person, right, like the way I look at it, I'm like you and me, for example, we were friends for a long time before we got married, right? We got time to actually spend together, get to learn about different things and know each other, right? So for some people, that's what I'm saying. It depends on the factors surrounding their relationship. Because sometimes, when you're just looking at something from face value or reading a paragraph of somebody's story, or you're listening to 2 minutes of their so-called complaints, should I say, you don't really see the full picture. Because how long did these people court and date for?
But
Maybe they didn't know each other like that well, and
let
she
me-
was expecting.
I'm sorry, I'm cutting into this, but I don't think they don't know each other. Okay.
Obviously, he's not giving her enough time.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this.
If she's complaining.
On the back of our mind,
Yeah.
right? Nobody actually told us this. On the back of our minds, before we got married, right? We know that when somebody gets married, you try to pull out from their life so that the two will have more time, right?
Not really. It's just like you respect their boundaries. There have to be boundaries.
Whether I say boundary or I say
Yeah.
you pull out for them to have their time, that it's not written anywhere, but we understand.
No, but it's common sense. Something's
I'm going to say that I'm coming
like
to.
I
I'm
beg
going to. I'm
the
going to
newly
bring-
married people. They are in their house. Your buddies can just be like busting in, or
Exactly.
your girls
I'm
busting
coming
in.
to. I'm coming to that point too. So we know. Oh, these people are married. Let's give them the boundary. Let's
They need
pull out.
space too.
And even when we got married, most of my friends were not calling, testing,
Mine
anything.
disappeared by themselves,
Right.
which is fine.
But what I'm trying to say is that is what some of these, should I say, societal or the environment or the culture have on us, that because you are married, it's just you two.
No, but
Let-
then
let me
that's
finish.
the
Let
thing.
me-
Real relationships, right? Like I want to put it out there this way also, that good relationships, you fight for them. And it's not a one-way street. So if somebody decides to walk away from you because they have this image, and you try your best to reach out to those people, because I've had people that have said that because they thought like I place more value on you than on them. And we had these conversations, and I was like, it's not that I'm like trying to separate things, but there's an honor I have to give to my husband. So the things I used to do as a girl, like to go hang out, we could go different places, or they invite me to a party, I can just up and go and come home at a late time, or I could go away for the weekend and not have to explain to anybody where I'm going, like just up and go because my girls want a time out. I have to plan it ahead of time. I can't just up and do it anymore like that, because now I have a different respect I also have to give to you. And this is where I say it's okay. You, in this life, you're not meant to please everybody. You will love people and you will give them attention, but only if they want to stay in your life. If they don't want to stay in your life, you can't do anything about that, because they want to find someone that can fill that void. And that is okay, because that's what they want and that's what they desire, right?
Yeah.
And you have also made a different decision, because when the time comes for them maybe to meet somebody else and have that, you will also have to kind of respect the boundaries that are in their home. So friendship is great, and I think there has to be like a balance to it. I shouldn't have to feel like, oh, I don't know, it's either I pick George or the other person, and then that's it. And if you're a true friend, I don't think you should even be giving your friend that kind of ultimatum.
I don't think like the story that I'm
Pardon me?
bringing up is, it's not friends giving ultimatum like you have to do this and all of that.
Yeah.
Like there are some societal norms and things, right?
Expectations culture.
Exactly,
Should I
right?
say?
So
Yeah.
like I have heard so many people say this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know for us, we had mentors, we have people. So some of these
Different
things, we
circles.
didn't really go through it. We didn't really have those issues, right? But I've like I said, I've heard, I've read, I've listened to people
There's a lot of information out there.
when the people is like we got married
Yeah.
and it's just us. So we have to do everything on our
Well,
own.
I mean,
I
you
just
shouldn't
want to
cut
break.
everyone out.
It's not they cut everyone out, right? Like this particular story that I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are married.
Yeah.
They have to be by themselves, which is fine,
Yeah.
right? That is why
Learn
society.
to grow by yourself.
That is what society expects. Oh, you got married.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Then you're supposed to be together. It's supposed to be you two. It's supposed to be you two.
Not two
right?
shall be one.
But at the same time, they also need time away from each
Yeah.
other to grow on their own.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right. And that is where sometimes that distinction between I need time to grow on my own and then we have to be together to grow together, that becomes an issue. And that is what this lady was actually going
Well,
through.
I think that's where the neglect part kicks in. Like from conversations I've had with other people, the problem is when you don't communicate, right? You don't sit down and talk. Because I feel like when you're in a relationship, it's almost like a business contract. Yeah.
This my issue is more like expectation. It's not communication though.
Well, it's an expectation, but like when you are doing business, right? You have an expectation that your partner is going to fulfill certain things. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that partner does not, fulfill those expectations, typically in business, you're like, okay, once this contract is over, we're not renewing, we're not continuing. But marriage is different. It's a different ballgame. You can't just up and say it's over. Like I can't, like it's over. I'm just gonna move on like that. In some instances that are excessive, people do end up walking away. But that's what I'm saying. Marriage is a partnership. That's what God says, right? So you can't just assume that things will work themselves out, because it's two different people, two different minds. You literally have to sit down and discuss, what do you like? What do you not like? What times should we be spending together? What time should you be having for your own personal growth and that kind of thing?
And this story, that is where, that's what I'm saying.
It has to be, discussed.
The whole point is, since we are married, where I'm coming from, this is what I
Yeah.
know. It's just the two of us.
Right.
That's like, it's the expectation that the environment, the culture
Right.
that she's coming from, and like I said, I've listened to people from different background
Right.
that share the same idea, where we got married, so it's supposed to be us doing everything,
I think people are
right?
trying to find their rhythm as a couple most of the times, right? Because when you first get together, if you weren't really, really friends, you have to kind of really get
I
to
don't
know.
think it's really friends that is the issue, because we have heard of friends that have been couples that have been friends from junior high,
And then they stop being friends when they get married.
and stuff. So I don't
It's a different kind of expectation.
I don't think it's more of friendship that really break that bond, right? My best guess is when people get the opportunity to really talk to
Counselors or
counselors and churches, schools,
yeah.
that I feel like these are some of the things that they have to bring up. Like I said, for us, even on our wedding day, right?
Hey, forgive us. So I think there's a boxing match upstairs. I'm hearing something.
So on our wedding day, the bishop said that we are two but separate,
Right.
right? We take time to build on ourselves,
Right.
and then we come together to build together.
To become stronger.
Exactly. So when you understand that, okay, you need time to work on yourself to be the best version of yourself. I need time to work on myself, and then
Right,
we
but
find time to.
that should not be assumed. That should be spoken of, because let's be realistic. You have gotten married, you create a completely different schedule that your partner is not aware of. So they're still having that expectation that, oh, the hangouts, the dates, the time we used to have together, we're still gonna have it, because that's the impression of the kind of lifestyle that you were living, right? But if you know you're planning to build yourself, remember, it's not just about yourself anymore. It's you're a team. So you can't say, I just want to build myself. This person just gotta suck it up and deal with it. No, that's where the neglect comes in. So you are thinking you're doing something to probably better the relationship, but that other person is feeling neglected. Like,
So
my partner,
I
because they don't know.
I get what it's. I don't think
They
it's
don't have an
mostly
understanding
like
of where you're going
like the
with
most
them.
recent story that I was. Let me finish the whole story so that don't let me finish
People
it.
correct us if
What
we're wrong.
because it's more like they got married.
Yeah.
The perception of the lady is we got married, you have to be doing everything together, and we hear that even on movies. Oh, you get married and it's a couple thing. We have
But
to
then
be
that's
together.
just
I just want to
yeah,
finish
the
the whole
girl
story
side.
so that we don't change the topic. It's like we got married.
Yeah.
We have to be doing everything as couple. We have to be doing everything. So we have to be seen together. We have to do everything together, right? That is the perception that most people on average, I'll say,
You want to be bonded for life.
like, but what I'm trying to say is that is what most people, oh, we got married, and because we are married, we have to be seen together everywhere. We have to be doing everything together. We have to be going every place together, and that is what most people.
I think it's a perception, because I mean, let's be realistic. You cannot 100% be together like all the time. It's impossible. Like, you have other responsibilities.
Let me finish the story before you come in, because you're still not getting the whole point and you keep cutting me wherever you want to.
My brain is like a light bulb.
What I'm trying to say is, I know we shifted from the whole what kills, like,
It's
intimacy
part
and
of
stuff.
what kills the relationship.
What the story that I'm talking about, they got married to the girl, and you share the same sentiments. It's just it hasn't been flowing on the same. You get married, and what we all know is we got married, so we have to be building together. We have to be together. We have to be doing everything together. That is what, on the face value, that is what everybody knows. Since we are married,
Unity.
we have to be doing everything together, right? But in between that, we have to do everything together. They will go to work. They will come. And it seems like the wife gets home before the guy, the husband. Will come, oh, how are you doing? How is everything? Right? You are fine? Okay, fine. She's over there doing maybe doing her own stuff, right? And the husband will go turn on TV to watch his soccer. And whilst he's watching the soccer, the wife starts crying, right? Why? Because why did you leave me to go and watch soccer?
I mean, her feelings are valid.
Let me finish, right? Why did you leave me to go watch soccer? He will stop and come talk to him. And, okay, why are you crying? Is everything okay? Yeah, but like, we're supposed to be together. We're supposed to do everything together. We're supposed to do everything together. Okay. You can't. What are you going to do after work? You come from what? From 6 p.m., let's say the late 6 p.m. to 12 before you sleep, or 6 to like 10 before you sleep, that 4 hours. What are you constantly going to do together? So over time,
I mean, like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I get what you're saying, right? But normally, like, when females are complaining to you people about these things, it's a very valid point, because if you don't take care, you wake up and not have a wife, or you wake up and not have a partner, because that person, right, them spending time with you is important. So from what I'm gathering from this story, she probably was not aware that this guy has this fascination maybe with soccer.
she does, because like the reason why you are not letting
is he doing it every day?
You are not letting me finish the story.
Oh, because your story is long.
Eventually, right? She
already got a time.
visited a mentor, and then when she went, the mentor's husband was also watching soccer, but the wife will just go check, give him food, and then, because she's talking to the wife in the kitchen, go give them food. And it's like, oh, thank you, my wife, you're so beautiful, thank you, that, and all of that. Gave the wife a kiss. So when the wife came back, the mentor came. It's like, why do you have your husband watching the soccer game, and you are making food to go give him, and it seems like you are even excited that he's watching his game and you are over here in the kitchen. And the mentor is saying, you also need space. That is what I know. I agreed. The story, because you keep coming in here and there, because I want us, or whoever listen to this, understand that, yes, we have to build together. Right. Whether you have been married for years or you just got married, we should understand, yes, so far as we have decided to be one, we have to work together. We have to build together. We have to keep going together, right? And in that same spirit, we have to learn to be building on ourselves, where you pick up a hobby, you pick up something, and you build on it to be yourself. So that, imagine you are on maternity leave and you're home by yourself, your husband goes to work. Are you going to say, stop work and come sit next to me? So you find something that you will occupy yourself with.
Well, definitely. I mean, like, at the end of the day, another person can never be your breath of life, because if that person die, you're going to learn to live without them anyway, right? The beauty of marriage is partnership, is being in each other's life, supporting each other's goals, celebrating the big wins and the big losses together, right? So it's not like I almost feel like this guy, right? I'm not saying he's wrong for him just wanting to watch soccer, but as much as he just loves to watch the soccer, it's hurting his relationship with his wife, because the wife does not understand where he stands. I'm pretty sure they never had this conversation.
They did.
Prior to marriage.
So this is the wife giving that account. They did, but she didn't really understand the whole point. Like,
she didn't know he was addicted.
Why do you need a time to for yourself? Like, that is the whole point. They did have the conversation, but to her, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the environment, the culture, the place she's coming from, she didn't understand. It's like, we are married, we have to be together. Why should you have time to go watch soccer, right? Whilst we still there. So it's more like, we have to, by hook or crook, we have to be together.
Well, I mean, you can choke each other, but
and that was something she never really understood, that part of, we are married together but single.
Yeah, no, but like, there's also a difference, right? When a person is feeling loved, right? Even if your partner is doing something else, you understand and you know. But when a person is feeling neglected, that's when all these feelings arise. So I don't think it's just a matter of the fact that he only watched soccer. I'm sure there were other problems underneath.
That was
So we
that
can,
was what the wife
yeah.
that was what the wife
So I
reported.
don't, yeah, we can't just go by just that story alone. They have more problems than just.
That was it. I think
Yeah.
eventually she, like I said, she gave an account, like, you know,
Yeah.
about going to the mentor and then talking to the mentor and realizing, oh, she have to also find a hobby, something, an outlet, so that she will also occupy herself.
But you have to be very careful in that. If you're finding a hobby because you're being neglected by your partner, at some point
It's
that
not
hobby
neglect.
might replace the
It's-
partner completely.
What I want to say is, it's not neglect. Are we together 24/7?
I mean, of course not.
Exactly. So when you, let's say, when you go for your singing rehearsal and you go for events,
Yes.
and I'm here, what do I do? Because you are going, no, you can't go, you have to stay because we are married, you can't go and do it.
No, I mean, like that's what I'm saying. It's like it's all about communication.
But even
Right.
if you say it,
And
we
where-
still not, because
Well, I mean, there are people that are in situations like that. For example, there's a movie I was watching yesterday. People's realities are completely different than the life that you live. So I can never say that I understand everybody's situation. So I always want to think and understand that person's shoes as well. For example, that movie that I was watching yesterday, the girl was like a celebrity. She was an actress and she was really good at her job. But then she met this oil mugger guy, and he and his family, they own companies. They're used to the posh life, the high-rise life, and they don't want a wife, like the family don't want a wife that's going to be on screen acting, you know, in these relationships. You know, some of the scenes, you have to kiss somebody, you have to hug somebody, and they did not want that. But the guy loved the girl, so he started saying to her, oh, if you want to be married to me, you have to give up your career. And that was everything she had built her life on. And that was everything that she wanted. She tried her best. But he was very aggressive. Like you're saying, oh, I wouldn't say that. And that's exactly what he was saying. Like, oh.
But this
Yeah.
this scenario is
So-
completely different from, like, you know, the one the lady was
Well,
talking
I mean,
about.
that scenario,
Because
she's not
th-
telling
this-
you all the
no, no, no.
details.
Because it's, if it was the guy saying it,
Yeah.
right,
Uh-huh.
we would say, oh, maybe he is
Jealous.
saying just to favor his end of the story. But is the lady, the
Could be
wife,
both
giving the account, talking about, that is why I keep bringing it up, like the churches, the schools, people that have the platform, the opportunity to let couples, people like we have started our life to understand that we build together and you build yourself too.
Well, I mean, you
Right?
definitely
Because
have
to her, all she knew was we are married, so it's together. That's like, eventually she came back and gave an account about, okay, when I talked to the mentor, I realized my husband is not wrong. It's, should I say, the environment, the culture
That she grew
and
up in.
that she grew up in, that when you are married, you have to, it's the two of you, it's the two of you. So that is all she knew.
I mean,
We
that's
are-
the base.
we are married, so
The
it's
foundation.
everything is to be us, everything should be the two of us. And then eventually she realized, oh, so my husband isn't wrong. It's like, because he's telling, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? You don't have anything, but you just want him to be there.
Well, I mean, I definitely understand what you're saying. Like, everybody want to build, right? And in terms of building, I feel like men are always given that leeway to say, oh, he's a man, he wants to build himself and grow himself and be all this. So the sad thing is, like, a lot of women now sit behind the shadows because you're hoping your husband, for most women, you're thinking we are building this team together. You're thinking I'm pushing the dream and the vision of my husband because this is going to favor both of us. But it's not always the case, because some husbands, they are dreaming about themselves and you are not in the picture. You understand what I'm saying? So now that's why you're seeing society and a lot of women becoming very independent. And unfortunately, because these conversations are not heard, now there's a lot of breakups and there's a lot of separations and there's a lot of divorce. That's what I'm saying. Expectations are good when you are going in a relationship. If you don't discuss those expectations and then you get in and you realize that this person has a different dream and a different vision that does not include you, it's just a matter of time. You could drag it as much as you want, right? But it's just a matter of time until that thing comes crashing down. So it's important to have those conversations. They are uncomfortable, but they are necessary. You have to know the expectation of your partner. If you are building the dream together, make sure you understand what's happening. If that person is not available, make sure you understand why are they are not available for you, and what do you need to do to be able to build that same dream, to know where you're going. But it can't just be like, oh, this one person is building themselves, and you decide you want to build yourself because you're bored. No, that's a recipe for disaster. It should be building in unity, so that like your home, your kingdom doesn't collapse. Anytime there are holes in the kingdom, it's gonna fall apart. So I'm just gonna read a couple of things that kill intimacy. I know we got heated up with your story. Then we'll
Yeah.
come back and discuss maybe how to rebuild
Okay.
on the next phase, because my people, we have extended our time. So lack of communication, we said not resolving conflicts. We spoke about criticisms. We spoke about neglect, emotional unavailability. We spoke about, trust issues, basically. Lack of spending time together, that kind of thing. That kills intimacy in relationships. And then other things that we didn't talk about, but we'll talk about in the next segment, is trust issues, routine and complacency, stress and exhaustion, poor conflict resolution, and fear of people being vulnerable to share what it is they're going through, what their fears are, and the nature. Well, I hope this segment was helpful. Until we come again, Mr. Boatek, I'll bring you more questions.
All right. Cool. No problem.
All right, cheers. Bye.
All right. Bye.